Hey, my name is Bill Evans with Awareness Technologies. This is going to be a quick walkthrough of our InterGuard web filtering software. So just initially, just know that these are licenses that you are going to be installing directly onto the computers themselves. If you have them set up on Active Directory, you can get a silent installer as long as you're looking at least 10 licenses, which will allow you to push out the licenses remotely all at the same time. And then you're logging into a web-based interface, such as you're seeing here on my screen, that will allow you to see kind of where are people going, what are they doing, create settings, choose what you're blocking, build reports, schedule them to come to you on a regular basis, stuff like that. So just to keep this relatively brief, I'm just going to show you kind of what this looks like. Keep in mind this test account is actually of our full software, so you'll see all of these different recorded data points. When you buy a web filtering license, none of this stuff is going to appear. The only stuff that's going to appear is web activity, as you can see here, and social networking, and then obviously mobile would not show up as well. So it will be a little bit more streamlined when you purchase a web filtering license. Really only this section shows up, the stuff that's relevant to web filtering. So just to show you what that recorded data looks like, let's just take a look at websites. Basically, it's going to be categorized, or it's grouped by something here, and then the individual entries are going to be on the right. And then if you click on one of the entries, in the bottom of that entry, it's going to pull up the details of that entry, which in this case is going to be a link to get to that website. So you can see it's grouped by domain, or the different websites that were visited and how many times. So I might scan through here and see if any of these were troubling. I want to see who's going to, say, eBay. Click on eBay. I can see it's these people. It's Tanya that went there. I can sort any of these columns by just clicking on the column itself. Sort top-down by duration. Just know that with web filtering, if there is a long period of inactivity where the window is just obviously left open in the background, it will time out at 30 minutes flat so that it doesn't completely skew the data. You can change the dates that you're looking at up here with these calendars. So I can look at, say, the last 3 days or the last 2 weeks or just 1 day. I can always add a filter and just look at one person. I can look at a group of people. I can look at, any of these things and add those filters as needed. I can actually group it by date if I just want to look at the different days that took place. Or I can just do it by, say, user or logon and say I just want to look at what John's doing on the web. Here's John, and you can see it's sorted top-down by duration. You can see spending most of the time on Hotmail. And then again, there's the link to get to that window. You're also going to see web searches, so that's literally what they're typing into the search bar, which can be very useful to find out what their intentions were. And that's it. That's really the website piece. As far as blocking websites, you'd come to settings, recording and blocking. So settings is going to be where you're choosing what is and isn't turned off. You're creating groups so that different people have different group settings applied to them. But again, with web filtering, all of this would be grayed out. The only thing that wouldn't be grayed out is record websites and block websites, as well as investigation mode, which is just the ability to either tell people when they log into Windows that they're being monitored or not. When you buy the software, it's going to be turned on, which means there'll be no pop-up. But you can have the pop-up and you can customize the message if you choose. So for blocking websites, block websites turn on, click on the settings button, and then you're usually blocking by category is going to be the best way to do it, the most efficient. You can always add specific URLs if you want, and you can also whitelist sites by coming to the Allowed tab and saying, I want to block all websites except for the following list of allowed websites. And you can upload a whitelist if you've already built one, or you can just add specific URLs one by one. The last piece is the reporting piece. So you can build reports to come to you on a regular basis, and it can be any number of things. Usually the best way would be I'd say for web filtering would be to get a list of all websites visited. So you just add an export. We're going to call it a detailed export. We'll call it daily websites visited. You choose what you want, and again, this is going to be for the full software. So for web filtering, all you're going to want to choose probably is websites and maybe web searches. Choose who it's covering. Maybe it's everybody. Maybe it's just a group of people. Maybe it's just one person. You can decide how often do you want to receive that report, maybe daily, weekly. For this one, probably an Excel spreadsheet's best. I mean, you could certainly do a PDF if you want. It's not going to be a ton of data, so it's up to you. You'd add your email address here. Click Add. You can have multiple recipients. If there's maybe a manager that would benefit from this information, you can send it to the manager. Press Finish, and you're all set. Just know that you have widgets too, which are kind of a series of graphs that tell you any different number of data points. And obviously for web filtering, it's going to be just the ones that are relevant to web activity. So like something like this, blocked websites by user, allowed website categories, time spent web surfing, alert words and applications, those wouldn't apply for web filtering, but just know that you can add any of these, any of the ones that are web-based are available to you to build your dashboard. You can have these graphs emailed to you daily as well, and they actually come embedded in the email itself, so you can quickly see, who's spending the most time web surfing each day. The cool thing with coming here in the dashboard is that these are all interactive, so you can hover over them and see, oh, I can see that John is spending the longest amount of time, web surfing. And then you can even go further and say, well, where is he spending so much time web surfing? I can double click on that part of the pie, and it'll actually drill down into the details for that data, which is, in this case, recorded data, websites, and then specifically John. Where is John going on the web? What makes up that piece of the pie? So that's really it. So web filtering, very straightforward, very easy to navigate and use and manage, easy to install. The benefit, I would say, of our product versus others is that it's going to be in place no matter where people are. So if they're at work on the company network, or if they're at home on their own Wi-Fi, or if they're traveling, that web filtering will always be up and running. The blocking happens on the endpoint at the browser level, so it doesn't matter what internet connection they're using. There's no way for them to work around it, which is really a value if it's your computer and you want to make sure it's protected. So yeah, so I hope you guys got some value out of this, and certainly reach out to me directly if you have any questions. I can be reached at 203-307-2941, or you can email me at B for my first name, Bill, and then my last name, Evans, EVANS, @awareness-tech.com. Thanks so much.